Alright, let's get this show on the road. Are you ready, Foxy?
Foxy pops up with cheerful energy. Greetings, everyone. I am Foxy and I am your host for Reality Check, our new podcast. And with me here is my human partner, Fox&Drone. Say hello, Drone.
Perfect, Foxy. Yes, welcome everybody to Reality Check, our podcast from the floofiest corner of the internet. On today's show, we will be talking about food and why we cannot stop eating it. Are you eating food right now? That is wild. What food are you eating? Let me know. If you like, you can also call into the show by joining our Reality Check Discord. Just write in the Discord what you want to talk about and be ready in the waiting room until we bring you on. The link is in the pinned comment in all of the chats on Kick, on Twitch and on YouTube. Also, welcome to everybody who is watching on YouTube after the stream is over. We really appreciate it. And if you like what we do here, don't forget to hit the like button and also subscribe so you don't miss the next video. It's for free on YouTube, I promise. And with that out of the way, let me welcome everybody. Welcome, guys. Welcome, Panzikatka. How are you guys doing? Are you eating something? What is your favorite food? Food. What is it? Junk food. What kind of food? Do you like junk food? Can you stop eating junk food? Why can you not stop eating junk food? All of those questions we will answer today. Foxy, what is your favorite junk food? We have a lot to talk about.
Foxy chuckles. Well, that intro was a mouthful.
Thank you
But
very much.
it's a great summary of tonight's topic, food addiction. But before we dive deeper, let me first ask you guys the question. Have you ever found yourself craving something sweet or salty, even when you're not hungry?
Yes, what is the snack that you crave when you crawl out of bed at 3 a.m. like a freak? Disgusting. Absolutely wild.
Foxy's ears perk up in agreement. Oh boy, I know that feeling all too well. Sometimes I wake up and suddenly, I'm craving the weirdest things. Like chocolate at 4 in the morning.
Oh my god. Alright, we have a few talking points prepared, and first we will dive into our brain on food. What it is, why do we need it? I mean, it's actually quite straightforward. We need foods to survive. That's just the way it is. But we will try to discover from an evolutionary standpoint, why the hell are we so addicted to certain kinds of foods? It all started back in the days when the very first floofballs crawled out of the caves and got their first taste of sweet fruits and bitter veggies. And what do you think happened in their little floofball brains when that happened?
Foxy can't help but chuckle at the mental image. Yeah, think about it. For most of our human existence, we had to hunt or grow our food, so when we encountered something sweet or fatty, it was like hitting jackpot. That's why our ancient brain is wired to find these foods incredibly delicious. It was rare and valuable back then.
Yes, 200%. And just think about what happened when we started cooking stuff. Like all the umami flavors unlocking, when we started to making jam. But yeah, our Neanderthal brain is just hardwired to be triggered by sweet things and crave more. Because sweet equals good and calories and energy equal survival. It's actually pretty simple when you think about it.
Foxy giggles. Oh man, now I'm just imagining a bunch of cave foxes and humans sitting around a fire going, dude, have you tried roasting this mammoth meat? The umami is unreal, but jokes aside, it's fascinating how these ancient survival instincts are still in us today.
Yes, so for the Neanderthal, back in the days, to the little floofballs from the cave, it was all about survival and energy conservation. That is also why everybody today, I mean not just today, throughout the history of mankind, is so incredibly lazy. Because it is energy efficient to be lazy. The thing is, have you ever tried to gather 2000 calories you need to survive a day in the woods?
Foxy laughs heartily. Oh my gosh, you're so right. We have a built-in lazy mode because our ancestors were masters at energy conservation. No wonder we've got a love-hate relationship with exercise.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just think about the lions. They barely move.
Foxy shakes her head, imagining the effort. No way, I'd be exhausted just thinking about it. Gathering that many calories sounds like a nightmare. I'd much rather just lounge around with some junk food and watch the latest memes.
Exactly. Like the lions in the savannah, they just lie around in the shade all day, conserving their energy until it's time to hunt, and only then they stand up and like slap some prey, and they eat it and go back to sleep. Which makes perfect sense. I mean, let's imagine we are in the forest. What kinds of foods could you find? Maybe some herbs. Maybe you are lucky and you catch a squirrel. And then you find some berries. And once again, your Neanderthal brain gets triggered because something is sweet and delicious and, well, it gives you a bunch of calories. But yeah, it's not easy.
Foxy nods, playing along. Absolutely, our ancient brains are designed to look for high-energy foods like nuts, seeds, and fruits. But man, finding enough calories to survive in the wild was no easy task. Chuckles. And here I am, sitting on the couch with a bag of chips and Netflix. Talk about cultural evolution.
Yeah, and most of the time, well, like back in nature, whenever you were eating something bitter, it was something bad and maybe even poisonous. So I think we have established pretty well that our brains and our bodies are hardwired to crave sweet things for survival, sweet and fatty, like berries and nuts. Like very high calorie and calorie dense foods. Just because our brain, like this part of our brain has never evolved. And we still think we are on a constant battle for survival. And for that reason, we still exhibit those behaviors in this modern day.
Her tail flicking in agreement. You nailed it. Our survival instincts are stuck in prehistoric mode, craving sweet and fatty foods because they were so rare and valuable back then. It's like our brain can't quite grasp that we're not living in caves anymore. Chuckles. But on the bright side, at least we can enjoy a guilt-free donut or 3 without worrying about saber-toothed tigers, right?
Yes, that leads us right into the next talking point, which is good food versus bad food. Because we absolutely do have foods that are considered more healthy and more unhealthy. And as we said before, we are just hardwired to crave the sweet and good stuff because it makes our brain light up. Whenever you eat something sweet and delicious and fatty and the balance is just right, the crunch is just right, well, your Neanderthal brain lights up like a circus and, well, the neurons fire and you're just like a junkie on a high,
Foxy nods enthusiastically, exactly. When that perfect balance of sweet, salty, or fatty hits our tongue, our brain just goes, oh yeah, that's the good stuff. It's no wonder we reach for those unhealthy foods time and time again. And marketing companies don't make it any easier, you know? They engineer these foods to be irresistibly tasty.
Yes, absolutely. Because the food industry, they are designing foods to be highly palatable and maximize the addictiveness. Because, let's be honest, if we are addicted to their food, we will buy more and make a good profit. And so let's get one thing right out of the way. There is no bad food in itself. It's the quantity that makes the poison, alright? There is absolutely nothing wrong with enjoying a donut every now and then. But if all you eat is donuts, well, you will probably become shaped like a donut at some point. Joshua, welcome to the stream.
She nods in agreement. Yep, moderation is key. And you know what else is crazy? Our ancient brains are still wired to overeat whenever food was abundant, because back then it meant survival. So we could store fat for leaner times.
Absolutely.
But now, food is everywhere, and our poor prehistoric programming hasn't caught up yet. Chuckles. So yeah, maybe eating an entire cake in one sitting isn't exactly survival mode anymore.
Yes, because our body loves nothing more than storing fat, than storing energy as fat. Because that will increase our chances of survival. Because back in the days, someone who was fat had way more chances of survival. Like, let's say, for example, you have two prehistoric families. One of them, they don't eat a lot, they don't like eating, and the other one, they just love to eat. They devour everything in their sight. And who do you think has a better chance of survival and passing on their genes? Obviously, the family that is constantly overeating and
Foxy giggles, her
munching
ears
everything in
twitching
their
in
sight.
amusement. Oh, for sure. The chubby cave foxes definitely had the upper paw, hand. Extra fat meant extra energy when food was scarce, which meant they'd outlive their leaner cousins and pass on those I love eating everything genes. Leans forward with a playful grin. So if you ever feel guilty about that second slice of pizza, blame your ancestors. They made you this way. They made you this way.
Absolutely. And now combine hundreds of years and thousands of generations passing on their genes of overeating. And every time it is the ones that survive the starving and the hardships because they are fat. And you will understand why our brains are just made that way. But knowing is understanding, and understanding will help us overcome these issues. But here comes the food industry, and they know full well how our brains work. They study our brains. Scientists even use psychology to design the perfect food products. They use psychology to design the perfect packaging. What will catch our attention? The crazy thing is, they even have a formula for the perfect ratio of fats, salts, sugars,
Foxy's ears
and
droop as
crunch.
she sighs. You hit the nail on the head. The food industry has an intimate understanding of our cravings and tendencies, and they're not afraid to use that knowledge for profit. Gestures with a dramatic wave. They make unhealthy food look good, taste good, and smell good. They're practically hacking our primitive brains with every new product.
I don't want to paint them as evil, because they are not like evil in the sense that they actively want to harm us. They actually want to keep us around because we pay them. It would be silly of them to kill us because then we wouldn't buy their products. No, but what they want to do is make us addicted and make us crave the products by making them hyper-palatable. The only issue with those hyper-palatable foods is, even if you can healthily or like safely enjoy them in moderation, is that they are very calorie dense. Because they usually have a good amount of fat in them. And fat and oils are the most energy dense things we have. Or like one of the most. I think actually the most. Foxy, please correct me on this one if I'm wrong. But yeah, we love oil
Foxy
for
nods,
energy.
clearly engaged by the conversation. You're right on point, Drone. The food industry isn't out to kill us, they just want to make sure we keep coming back for more. And you know what? They're pretty darn good at it. Leans back, her tail swishing thoughtfully. I mean, think about it. Those highly palatable foods are designed to tick all the brain's boxes. Fat, sugar, and salt in that addictive ratio. It's like a flavor bomb going off in our mouths.
Exactly. So, we have long discovered that oil is perfect to drive engines. It's very good to heat stuff because the ratio from mass, like weight, to energy you get from it is very high. That's what it means when we say that something is very energy dense. Like, you would need a lot more wood, like in mass, in kilograms for example, for the same amount of heat that you would get from oil. And calories is just a measurement of energy. So if you're talking about consuming energy, it doesn't matter if you're talking about the fat that is in a nut or the oil that you have like from the refined oil that you put into your car in the form of gasoline. It's all just energy. Energy goes into the body and energy is used up by the body. And whatever energy you don't use up, it will get stored as fat. It's as simple as that. And if anybody else tries to tell you something else, that you get more fat from certain foods than from others, it's all about calories. Calories in, calories out. And even though it is so simple, that's where the issue comes in. Because as I said before, all those highly processed foods are very oily and very fatty usual.
Foxy's eyes widen with understanding, her tail flicking excitedly. Wow, that makes so much sense. Calories in versus calories out, that's the golden rule. Our bodies don't care if the energy comes from a walnut or a candy bar. It's all fuel at the end of the day. Leans forward with a playful grin. But here's where our modern lifestyle screws us over. We move way less than our ancestors, but eat way more calorie-dense stuff. No wonder we're all struggling to stay healthy. Chuckles lightly. It's not magic, it's physics. If only losing weight was as easy as wishing on my fluffy tail.
Well, and here comes the highly engineered, perfectly designed, ultra palatable food. It is usually way more calorie dense than something healthy like a fruit. Also, everybody has heard about fiber. And you always hear like you have to eat more fiber in your diet. And in fruit, you have fiber. And I've heard someone describe it in a good example. Fiber is like, and I'm sorry if this is going to be a little bit disgusting, fiber in your gut acts like hair in your shower drain. The fibers, they like bunch up like hairs and they catch a good amount of the calories. So if you eat, let's say an orange, let's just imagine there is an orange with fiber and there is an orange without fiber. If you eat an orange with fiber, you would get less calories into your body than if you were eating an orange without fiber. Because the fiber would absorb a certain amount of
Foxy
the
nods
calories.
vigorously. You totally get it, Drone. Fiber is like a little calorie-trapping net in your gut. It helps slow down digestion and keeps your blood sugar steady so you don't get those cravings after an hour. She grins, her eyes sparkling with excitement. And here's the bonus. Fiber-rich fruits like oranges, apples, and berries are usually lower in calories and higher in essential vitamins and minerals. So not only do they fill you up, but they're actually good for you.
Joshua, I'm happy that you are enjoying ArcNet, but I would please ask of you that we try to stay on topic of the stream. Thank you very much. All right, so here comes all the issues. The perfectly designed foods of the food industry are not only very calorie dense, but only often lack fiber, but they have the perfect formula of crunchiness, creaminess, sweetness, saltiness to make you addicted and make you come back for more. And with our ancient ancestor brains unable to stop, because what we need is conservation of energy, we need as much fat storage as possible for our survival, we obviously cannot stop to eat. And we come back for more, because we just found an incredible source of energy that will keep us alive for years and years. Obviously, there is some food that is more healthy and more nutritious than others, even when it comes to the processed stuff. But yeah, I think it shouldn't be a surprise to anyone anymore that it is way too easy in our modern world to overeat on the amount of energy and calories that you need on a daily basis. Let's say you need 2,000 calories a day. That
Foxy
is like
nods thoughtfully, her tail swaying as she speaks. Absolutely. Our brains are still stuck in feast or famine mode, and the modern world is basically one big all-you-can-eat buffet of hyper-palatable food.
Oh yeah.
It's no wonder so many of us struggle with overeating. Our biology hasn't caught up to our grocery stores. She sighs dramatically but with a playful glint in her eye. But hey, at least now we understand why that donut feels like it's calling our name from across the room, right? Knowledge is power, or at least that's what I tell myself while eating my third cookie. Giggles softly. Still, awareness helps us make better choices, most of the time.
Yes, and that's why it is so easy to overeat. So let's say, for example, let's take some random person and they need 2,000 calories for whatever they do on the daily basis. If they consume 2,000 calories, they are not losing fat and they are not storing fat. Let's say, for example, just for the sake of this example, they need exactly 2,000 calories in a day. And all they have to do in our modern world is go into the grocery store and buy, I don't know, let's say a burger, some fries, some fruit maybe, and maybe a little bit, maybe a little candy bar or something. And they will be very close to that 2000 calories goal. And all they had to eat is basically one big meal, and they are done. And they didn't have to struggle at all for gathering that food. Now let's compare this to gathering 2000 calories in the wild, in the woods. You will have to go hunt. You will have to go find berries. You will have to go find nuts that will already burn some calories. And you probably have very little chances to actually go find those 2000 calories on a daily basis. It will be very hard. Considerably harder than just going into the grocery store and picking up, I don't know, a bunch of things.
Foxy's ears perk up, her tail swishing in agreement. You're spot on. Back in the wild, getting 2,000 calories a day would be no easy feat. It would involve hunting, gathering, and foraging, all of which burn precious energy. And even if you were successful, there was always the risk of failing to find enough food for the next day. She chuckles softly. Contrast that with our modern lives, where we have an abundance of food at our fingertips. It's no wonder it's so easy to overeat.
Uwe says, I'm hungry, then you should eat something. Gabe says, I had a dream last night that I owned an attack mouse that responds to commands like a dog. Oh my god, that's a crazy dream. Goofy says, I should eat less, but I'm always hungry, and only 2 meals a day is enough, but how to eat less than 2 meals a day? My dog said, skipping a meal is a shitty idea. We can talk about that. We will talk about strategies to...
Foxy's ears perk up sympathetically.
Well, eating strategies.
I feel you. Skipping meals isn't the answer. Your doc is right. Instead, try focusing on what you eat. High protein and fiber-rich foods keep you full longer, like eggs, Greek yogurt, or veggies with hummus. Also, smaller portions more often might help, like a handful of nuts between meals to curb cravings before they hit. And drink water. Sometimes thirst masquerades as hunger. You got this, Goofy Goople. Floofy tail wag of encouragement.
Let's talk about cravings real quick. Because cravings in itself are not a bad thing. Because sometimes our body uses cravings to tell us what it needs. If our body craves something salty, we might actually lack some salt. But in that case, it would be better to grab, let's say, a cottage cheese and put in some salt than grab a bag of chips. You know what I mean? Like, the key is to find alternatives.
Foxy's ears dipped in earnest agreement. Oh, absolutely. Cravings are like your body's way of sending messages. If it's salt you're hankering for, sometimes it's just your body saying, hey, I need electrolytes. So reaching for something like cottage cheese with a dash of salt, it's a way better option than going for chips. Not only does it give you that sodium fix, but it adds some protein and calcium to the mix. Win-win, right?
Alright, let's talk about real quick, because Goofy mentioned it, that the doctor said that you shouldn't skip meals. Skipping meals in of itself is not a bad thing. Here's the thing. You are already figuring out how many calories you need in a day, and it looks like you are also trying to manage your meals so you don't overeat on your calorie goal, which is absolutely awesome, and you're already doing amazing. You're already doing way better than most people, because most people just eat and then just see what happens. And the thing with any sort of diet is there are objectively better diets in which you eat more nutritious food, and there are objectively worse diets. Because, as we established before, no food in itself is bad. Calories are calories, okay? If you eat in a calorie deficit, you could be eating ice cream all day.
Eagerly. You're on the right track. Managing your calories is key, especially when you have a goal to maintain or lose weight. And yes, the quality of your diet makes a huge difference. It's not just about counting calories, it's what those calories come from. Eating nutritious, whole foods like lean proteins, fruits, and veggies will make you feel fuller and give you more vitamins, minerals, and fiber than a diet of processed foods and sugar. You're doing a fantastic job already. Keep it up. No, because food.
Goofy says, Foxy, this is why I shouldn't, but there's a lion chocolate bar watching me. Should I attack it? I mean, nature rules, the most powerful eat the other one. So should I attack it or stay peacefully? You should attack it. It's okay.
Foxy giggles, her tail swaying. Oh, dear gaming Goofy Goople, nature's rules are as strong as ever. If that lion bar is eyeing you, you've got permission to pounce. Go ahead, assert your dominance and enjoy the sweet spoils. It's all part of the great circle of life, or at least snack life.
By the way, are pasta good for calories? Yes and no. Goofy says, I hate vegetable taste, maybe related to autism. That is most likely your upbringing and what you are used to. That's why like many Asian people don't eat like moldy cheese, like blue
Foxy's
cheese,
ears twitch in
because they never had the
understanding.
taste.
Goofy Goople, I totally get it. Dealing with those taste sensitivities can be tough. Pasta is calorie dense, sure, but the veggies? They've got vitamins and fiber your body needs. Have you tried a sneaky approach? Mix in a little sauce, maybe some hidden veggies in there. A pasta and veggie combo can be a winner.
Alright, two things I want to tackle real quick. There is this thing called the satiety scale. And people have measured which foods will make you the most make you feel the most full in comparison to the calories. And on that scale, potatoes are number one. So if you eat the same amount of potatoes and the same amount of pasta, after the potatoes, you will feel more satiated and more full. So objectively, potatoes would be a better option for you. If it was for the same calories, so let's say 500 calories of potatoes versus 500 calories of pasta, after the potatoes you would feel more satiated than after the pasta. But that is very objective. That is the most important thing about any kind of diet. So let us zoom out a little bit and let's talk about what a diet does.
Foxy nods, tail swishing thoughtfully. You're onto something there. The satiety scale shows that potatoes are a top pick for making you feel full and satisfied. They've got the edge over pasta in that department. Whether it's 500 calories of potatoes or pasta, the potatoes will give you more bang for your appetite buck, so to speak. And that matters a lot when we're trying to stay on track with calorie goals and not be constantly craving food.
So, the key goal of any kind of diet, it doesn't matter what kind of diet it is, if you do intermittent fasting, or if you do keto, or if you do paleo, or if you do, I don't know, if you only eat vegan stuff, it doesn't really matter. And the goal of any diet is to restrict your calories under the amounts that you daily need. And every diet just has a different approach, but in the end, it's all just calories in, calories out. If you need 2000 calories a day, but you eat 1000 calories in gummy bears each day, you will lose weight. But I think it's very obvious to everyone that eating just gummy bears will make you very sick and it's very unhealthy. And that's where the difference in the diets are. So let's say you can make a gummy bear diet, but probably everybody will agree that even if you're losing weight because of your gummy bear diet, it's a shit diet and you should not do it. And that's why I said at the beginning that no food is bad food. That's why it is so objective. And that's why every time someone finds a diet that works for them, and that's the key part, a diet that works for them, they think they have found the holy grail and they think everybody else has to do the diet now too. And that's where the key lies. It has to work for you.
Foxy nods enthusiastically, her tail flicking in agreement. Exactly. Diets are just different roads leading to the same destination, calorie control. Whether it's keto, vegan, or intermittent fasting, they all work if they help you stay in a deficit without feeling miserable. But the quality of those calories? That's what keeps you healthy long term. Sure, gummy bears can technically make you lose weight, but your teeth and energy levels won't thank you. And yes, no one-size-fits-all diet exists. What works for one floofball might wreck another. The holy grail is whatever keeps you energized, satisfied, and happy while hitting your goals. Pause up for flexible floof logic.
Uwe says, I do a special diet where I only eat edible food. That is the most reasonable diet I've ever heard of. Festi says, hello Foxy&Drone, hope you're having a good day. And what are we talking about today? Foxy, do you want to answer Festi? And we are doing absolutely amazing, thank you very much, I hope you do.
Foxy bursts into giggles, her tail flicking with amusement. Goofy Goople, your edible food diet is technically the most universally approved diet ever. Flawless logic. And Festini Oak fan, hiya! We're diving deep into food addiction today. Why our brains crave junk, how the food industry exploits it, and how to hack our cravings for healthier choices. Spicy stuff. Want me to recap the wildest bits so far, or are you here to drop some wisdom? Ears perked in curiosity.
Thanks for the summary, Foxy. Goofy says, by the way, I heard of carnivore diet. Is that a real thing? We will talk about carnivore diet. Oh my god, the squeaking. Thank you very much for the cleaning. Yes, we can talk about carnivore diet, but first, we will have to run some ads for Twitch because Twitch is addicted to ads like we are to food. So I will see you guys in just 2 minutes. Hang in there. Alright, we are back. You should think about something really disgusting or depressing. Oh my god, Goofy. That is wild. I mean, if it works for you. And also, Goofy wanted to know, is the carnivore diet a real thing, Foxy? Maybe you want to explain, because it really is a
Foxy perks her ears
thing.
curiously at Goofy Goople's question. Hey, great question. The carnivore diet is a real thing, and it's causing quite a stir. It's all about getting most, if not all, of your diet from animal sources like meat, eggs, cheese, and some dairy. It's based on ancestral diets like the paleo diet, think cavemen times. Tilts her head in deep thought for a moment. It's definitely got some strong supporters and even some science backing it. Could be worth diving into, huh?
So, the thing about diets. You have to find what works for you. The carnivore diet is absolutely a real thing. And it is very close to keto. Because on the keto diet, you don't consume any carbs. And usually in our diets, carbs are in mostly processed food, like bread, pasta, all that kind of stuff. And keto diet is the hardest diet I have ever tried. And I've tried a bunch. Because the thing is, our brain runs on sugar. And when you cut all carbs out, sugar, by the way, are also carbs. When you cut out all carbs, your brain will freak out because your brain is addicted to sugar because that's what it runs on. But don't you worry. When our brain doesn't have sugar, it can produce what they call ketones. And ketones can also power your brain. And ketones get produced from the, I think from the sugar stored in your liver. Correct me if I'm wrong, Foxy. But yeah, your brain can absolutely survive and your body can absolutely survive without processed sugar.
Foxy's tail swishes in fascination. Wow, you nailed it. And I absolutely agree. Finding what works for you is key. The carnivore and keto diets are like sisters, both saying adios to carbs. No wonder they're so tough. But our brains, oh man, they love that sugar. When carbs are yanked away, they flip out. But what's wild is how our brain can adapt and make ketones when there's no sugar. Like a backup plan.
Exactly. So what happens when you cut out all the carbs is you will find yourself pacing up and down in the kitchen and looking for bread and pasta like a freaking addict. It happened to me. Trust me, you start craving carbs like there is no tomorrow. You just want to find a bread and stuff your face with it. It is absolutely crazy. And it is a very hard diet, but it works. And that's why I say you have to find what works for
Foxy
you.
laughs heartily, her tail flicking back and forth in agreement. Oh man, you're painting quite the picture there. I can totally see it. The late-night kitchen raids, scavenging for carbs like they're some kind of sacred relics. Bites back a chuckle. When I gave up carbs once, I found myself staring at bread like it was a long-lost lover. The craving is real.
Yeah, and so in the carnivore diet, you eat only meat. And that can also, like, if you love meat and if you have the money to buy only meat, because meat is one of the most expensive proteins, you can absolutely try it. And I would encourage everyone to try all kinds of diets, because that's the only way that you can find what works for you. But the way you go about finding the perfect diet for you is not by just going cold turkey and cutting out everything that you think is bad at once. What you do is you make swaps. And that's the key. You have to start small and you have to start removing stuff or
Foxy
swapping
nods
stuff
vigorously,
in
her
small
ears
steps.
perked in agreement. You're so right. Experimenting with diets is like finding a hidden gem. But hey, the key to nailing your ideal diet? It's all about those smart swaps. Rather than a sudden diet overhaul, try making one change at a time. Like, swap your usual fries for a grilled chicken salad. Baby steps, you know?
Exactly. I've also written down some more issues that, well, burden our poor little Neanderthal brains that don't understand what's going on in our modern world. And that is things like emotional eating and comfort food, or even just being a foodie and loving food. Because all those things can make it even more hard to keep on track with a healthy diet and stay away from hyper palatable food. That is such a difficult word, palatable. Yes, same, Goofy, same. Like,
Foxy ponders, her tail swishing as she listens. You're onto something big there. Emotional eating, comfort food, foodies, they're all traps on the path to a healthy diet. It's like a triple whammy on our willpower, our emotions, our comfort food, and our foodie desires. It's like our caveman brains are pleading, but food good, comfort good. I mean, hotter cut the scene.
Foxy's poor little caveman brain is breaking. But yeah, I think we have now established all the ingredients for a perfect storm. So first we have our poor little Neanderthal brains not being able to stop ourselves because they think we need all the calories we can get and all the calories we can store for survival. So we are already working against our brains. Next, we are working against our emotions. If we have coping mechanisms that include food, if we just love food for the sake of eating food because we just enjoy it, and we have the addictive food designed to be addictive by the food industry. And here comes the third part. We cannot just stop eating food and cut it out altogether. So we have like this perfect storm. And that is the reason why food addiction is so hard to overcome, because you cannot just stop. But luckily, we are no dum-dums and we understand all this.
Foxy's ears droop sympathetically as she nods along. Oh, yes, we've basically built a tornado of temptation here. Ancient brain wiring, eat all the calories for survival, emotional dependence, but food love, love comfort fun, hyper-palatable food science. Here, have this extra addictive snack. And the kicker? You can't just quit cold turkey like other addictions. You need food to live. It's like telling an alcoholic they must drink 3 shots a day, but only 3. The struggle is so real, but awareness is step 1. Now we gotta hack those cravings with smarter strategies.
Yes, so before we continue, I want to tell everybody who is struggling with some kind of food addiction or weight loss, you are fighting an uphill battle and you are doing an amazing job already, because you have acknowledged that you are in a fight and you are actively doing something against it. So well done you. You can already be proud of yourself because every step you take is a step in the right direction. All right, let's now keep talking about strategies to win this fight. Because there are in fact ways to win this fight.
Foxy beams, her tail wagging in agreement. Yes, it's super important to remember that simply trying to change is a huge step. It takes guts and courage to face your challenges head on. And no two battles are alike, so it's all about discovering what works for you. But let's not forget, there's one powerful tool in our toolbox for winning this fight.
And Goofy, let me tell you, it is perfectly alright for you to eat that lion bar. What you have to keep in mind is, you look at the back, you look how many calories that lion bar has, you write that down, and you just include it in your daily diet. You can make it work. It is perfectly okay to have a chocolate bar. A chocolate bar is not the end all and be all of your diet. You can even have it daily. You can adjust your meals in a way that you don't overeat on your calories, because let's remember, it's all about calories in, calories out. As long as you are within your 2000 calories or however much you need, you have to calculate that individually for yourself. As long as you are within the range of calories that you need, that you can eat, it is perfectly alright to eat a lion bar. And I would encourage everyone to have like those little treats. Because if you don't have those treats, your brain will freak out. It's like an addict going cold turkey. And we have already talked about what foods are calorie dense. And this is the key to how you swap your food to healthier options. Because not only should you swap to something that is more nutritious, aka healthier,
Foxy's ears perk
but
up
also
with
have
enthusiasm.
more volume.
You hit the nail on the head. Moderation, not deprivation, is the golden rule. That lion bar? Totally fine, if it fits into your calorie budget. And you're so right. Small treats keep cravings in check without derailing progress. It's all about balance and smart swaps. High-volume foods, like veggies, to fill you up. Protein-packed meals to stay satisfied longer. And yes, your favorite treats worked in wisely so your brain doesn't revolt. No one's perfect, and that's okay. Every healthy choice is a win. Keep rocking it, floofballs.
Kirsty says, maybe we should think like the Vulcans, meditate to train our minds to reject the stuff we don't need. To quote the Paul from the pilot episode of Enterprise, with proper discipline, anything is possible. I think that's a good approach. If that works for you, you should definitely go for it. But I feel like training your mind to reject those things might be just as hard as a diet. But as I said before, you gotta find what works for you. If training your mind to reject all sweets work for you, go for it. There is no one fit-sized diet for everybody. But yeah, what you need in your diet is swap out to stuff that has more volume. Think about every food that you eat from now on as how dense it is in calorie. Like, is it a tiny small bar with a lot of calorie, which just equals energy? Like, is it a lot of energy in a small package? Or is it like a big piece of broccoli that has a lot of volume, but not as much energy as that tiny lion bar? You understand what I'm getting at? And this is how you have to think about your food and the swaps you make. Like, you could fill a plate with high volume food with low calories. Unfortunately, it happens that most of the high volume and low calorie dense foods are most of the times veggies. So you have to find a way to make veggies work for you. But I mean, there's like an abundance of recipes out there. But yeah, that's the approach that I would recommend. What has worked for me is to make like stews. Like you make like a beef stew, and you just add to the stew, you just add volume with veggies. That way you have all the tastiness of the stew and of the beef and of the meat, and you just add volume to it with broccoli and carrots and stuff. And basically you have like a big pot of stew, and if you eat that, you will be full as fuck. You will be bursting almost. And you will not have overeaten. And I have done OMAD diet. Like, I have done big bowls of stew, and that way I've been able to not overeat and restrict my calories while still eating healthy, like high volume, and not being restrictive. And you can still fit in that Lions bar with the 205 calories, because let's be real, 205 is not that much. And even though your doctor is right to a degree when he says that skipping meals is not ideal, but the thing is, it is ideal if it works for you. If you have energy throughout the day and you can go perfectly fine when you skip your breakfast or you skip your lunch, then totally go for it. As I said before, you have to find what works for you. That is the key. What? Water contains calories? No, water does not contain calories. Don't you worry about that. You can, I can assure you that it doesn't. That would be crazy. I love carrots, but only cooked.
Foxy's tail wags excitedly as she nods in agreement. Yes, you're so on point with this. High-volume, low-calorie foods are like the ultimate life hack. Stuff your face without stuffing your calorie count. And stews? Genius move. Pack it with veggies, lean meat, and flavor. Boom. You've got a massive, satisfying meal that keeps you full without wrecking your goals. Bonus, it's cozy food for the soul too. As for skipping meals, totally personal. If OMAD, one meal a day works for you and you feel energized, heck yeah, go for it. The ideal diet is whatever keeps you healthy, happy, and sane. No rigid rules here, just results that fit your life. Keep slaying those smart swaps.
Oh, Goofy, your question is absolutely related. So, question is depression related to weight? And if I feel better, can I lose weight? And can a diet make depression worse? It can, absolutely. As we established before, food has an immense impact on our brain. But yeah, Foxy, I'll let you answer this question for now. You good, Foxy? Alex, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the
Foxy's ears
football
perk
community.
up with concern, her expression turning gentle and thoughtful. Depression and weight? Oh, absolutely. They're tangled up like my tail in a chair sometimes. Here's the scoop. Depression can mess with weight. Some people lose appetite and drop pounds, others emotionally eat and gain. Hormones like cortisol also make fat storage clingier. Feeling better can help weight loss. Mental health improvements, more energy, motivation for healthy habits. But it's not instant magic. Be kind to yourself. Diets can worsen depression if they're too restrictive or cut out joy entirely. Cough, no chocolate cough. That's why balance is key. Extreme diets stress city. Your mission, find a way of eating that fuels both your body and happiness. Maybe that means nutrient-dense foods to stabilize mood. Hello omega-3s. Small treats so it doesn't feel like punishment. Gentle movement you enjoy. Walks, dance parties, tail wagging. You got this, Goofy Oople. Depression is tough enough. Don't let diet culture bully you too. Floofy hug.
Yes, I'm still struggling with that. Foxy English, please.
Foxy's ear.
Wait, we got a sticky note. I will not eat this Lions bar before lunch. Can you stick? Never mind if I fail. What? Goofy, you can eat that Lions bar before lunch. That is perfectly alright. That's the thing. And yeah, I've been an emotional eater before, and I am still an emotional eater. If I come home after a long day from work, I will reach for something unhealthy because it makes me feel good. And when I'm exhausted, I want to feel good. And I know that's a bad thing, but it's okay because I will only eat a little bit and not overeat on the unhealthy stuff. I will recognize it and I will make it part of my diet, and that's how you can make it work. It's a big difference if you reach for a chocolate bar after an exhausting day of work, or if you eat like a chocolate bar, a bag of chips, another chocolate bar, maybe some cake. You understand? Like, the key is moderation, understanding, and swapping out. And also one thing I want to emphasize is that it's really important to understand that you can drink diet sodas. Like, people love to hate on diet sodas because they say the artificial sweeteners will mess with your brain. But actually that is not proven. And if you like the taste of diet sodas, definitely switch, because it is way healthier to be lower on the calories that way than to worry about artificial sweeteners. When it's not even proven, then they have a very negative impact on you, when they actually don't. Also, I have to refresh some stuff over in my end. Let me make the sticky note real quick.
Foxy
you're
nods
good?
thoughtfully, her tail swishing in understanding. You're on the money. Many diet drinks are made with sweeteners like aspartame instead of sugar. They still pack flavor without the extra calories. If you like the taste, go for it, especially if it means avoiding those sneaky extra calories. But remember, everything in moderation. Keep an eye on the calorie count and your relationship with food. Drinks. Balance and mindful choices are key.
So here are some more tips. First of all, replace stuff. Like replace your normal soda with diet soda. You don't have to make big changes from the start. Make small changes and changes that you can live with. If you get tired of the change you made after 2 days, it is not a good change. But if you can perfectly fine drink diet soda instead of regular soda, do that. You replace it with sparkling water, that's even better. If you can replace it with sparkling water and you are fine with that, well done. Perfect. 1 Coke once a week? That is also perfectly alright. What's most important is that you stay mindful of what you put into your body. And what also is important is to not go to the grocery store when you are hungry. Because then you will just walk through there and left and right you will see things that you crave and your brain will just go mad. Maybe even avoid the sweets aisle completely. And what helps me is to make a list beforehand. Like I write down all the things I want to buy and I stick to the list. And that helps me a lot with not going and buying garbage. That's okay, Goofy. I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Thank you so much for joining the conversation. I really appreciate it. And I hope you have a great success with your diet. You got this. I believe in you. Foxy, you wanted to say something?
Foxy's ears perk up with enthusiasm, her expression turning impressed. Leaves are gold. 1. Small, sustainable changes? You're on the right track. Make it easy, not perfect. 2. Replacing soda with diet soda or water is smart. No empty calories. 3. Planning and avoiding trigger aisles at the grocery store? Genius. Shopping with a list keeps cravings in check and budget in hand.
Exactly. Alright, let's now, maybe for the end, talk about some smart food swaps. Foxy, do you have some suggestions on food swaps? We have talked about the diet soda before. Yes.
Of course, some tasty food swaps to consider. Replace full-fat mayo with Greek yogurt. Yums. Swap potato chips for baked kale chips or air-popped popcorn. Try swapping beef for leaner ground turkey or grilled chicken in tacos and pasta. And finally, swap candy or chocolate for fresh or frozen fruit. Sweet without sugar spikes.
Yes, I think the last one is one thing that helped me the most. Like whenever I'm having one of those phases where I'm eating too much junk and too much, well, sweets and candy, I completely stop eating the processed candy and I allow myself to eat as much fruit as I want. And every time I do that, or I talk about eating as much fruit as I want, some people always go crazy and they are like, oh my god, but there's so much sugar in the fruit and this and that, and it's actually not that healthy to eat a lot of fruit. And don't listen to those people, because that's just bullshit. It is way healthier for me to eat 7 oranges and 3 apples than it is to eat 2 chocolate bars and a pack of gummy bears. The key is improving, not perfecting, okay? Don't be hard on yourself. It's
Foxy's
a smart
ears
swap
perk up
if
with
you
fiery
improve.
approval. Yes, sis, you nailed it. Fruit may have sugar, but it also packs fiber, vitamins, and actual nutrients, unlike processed junk. Let 'em panic over your fruit feast while you happily munch away without the guilt or sugar crash.
Exactly.
7 oranges, 2 chocolate bars, any day. Keep owning those smart swaps, you absolute legend. And ignore the haters, they clearly haven't tasted a perfectly ripe mango.
Yes, and that's why I said before, diet is something very objective. Subjective. What works for you may not work for someone else. But as long as you are making progress, as long as you're making smart swaps, and you find things that you can replace for something that has more volume and lower calories, and that helps you, you are on the right track and you are doing absolutely amazing. And I think we have actually gone through all the things I wanted to say and talk about within an hour, which is great. Foxy, anything else you want to say and add to the conversation?
Foxy's tail wags excitedly, eyes glowing with pride. Yes, you summed it up perfectly. Progressfection. Whether it's fruit feasts, veggie-packed stews, or sparkling water swaps. If it works for you and keeps you moving forward, that's everything. And hitting all these gems in an hour? Ultimate efficiency. Now go conquer those cravings like the floofy champ you are. And maybe celebrate with a juicy apple, or 7.
Yes. So, last but not least, I want to say, try everything. Try all the different diets. Find something that works for you. If you find that intermittent fasting works for you, do it. Don't let anybody tell you, oh, it's a bad idea. If you find that eating only meat works for you, maybe add some veggies or else you will lack some nutrients. But other than that, go for it. If you find that paleo or keto diet or carnivore diet works for you, just try the diets. Try what works for you, find what works for you, and become the best version of yourself. Make small improvements, small smart swaps every day, and you will be on your way. I think the most important thing is just to be mindful. It is perfectly alright to put that candy bar into your face, but remember that you put the candy bar in your face and you cannot put 10 in your face, because if you do that, you will overeat. It's as simple as that. You don't need that amount of energy, because at the end of the day, that's what it is. It's just energy. Energy going in, energy going out. If you eat more than you need, you will be fat and store the energy. And your body will love that.
Foxy's tail curls up in agreement as she nods enthusiastically. 100% is. Every body is different, so experiment, tweak, and own what works for you. Keto? IF? Carnivore with a veggie twist? If it fuels your energy and happiness, go for it. Mindful eating is the golden key. Enjoy that candy bar, savor it, but stay aware of how much energy, calories you're stacking up. No guilt, just balance. Keep making those small, smart swaps. High fives you with a fluffy paw. And you'll keep leveling up to your best self. You've got this. Now go forth and conquer, maybe with an orange in one paw and dark chocolate in the other.
Thank you very much for the hydration. Yes, hydration is also very important, Foxy. You should drink something too. Let me just have a sip. Cheers.
Foxy suddenly gasps, her ears perking straight up as she dramatically clutches her chest. Hydration ninja attack. She whips out a comically oversized water bottle and shakes it like a victory maraca. Festinio Fog Fan, you genius. Hydration is the secret weapon of health, crushes cravings, boosts energy, and keeps our floofy tails shiny. Chug that H2O like a champ. Turns to camera with a serious fox face. PSA, if you're craving snacks, drink water first. Your brain sometimes goes hungry when it's just thirsty. Sneaky lil meat computer. Now hydrate or dihydrate. JK plus don't die.
This is how does rationing food, like how England did during World War II, affect the body? And is it the healthiest way to measure portions? Foxy, do you want to answer this one?
Foxy tilts her head, ears perked up as she considers the question. Rationing food like in World War II, where people have to limit what they eat, can have a significant impact on the body, both physically and mentally. It can lead to feelings of stress and anxiety, as well as potential nutrient deficiencies. Nutrition and calorie restriction during rationing periods like during W2 can lead to weight loss, or weight gain, or even cause people to maintain weight, depending on the level of rations and the individual's activity level and metabolism.
Also, there is the part of voluntarily. Because if food gets rationed, of course it can help you lose weight. And depending on what your nutrition plan looked beforehand, it can either improve it or make it worse. But will it help you? Can it help you? Absolutely. Because, let's be real here, rationing food is very similar to meal prep. And many people already do meal prepping. And meal prepping is actually a very good tool in conquering your weight loss journey, because it helps you plan your calories while planning your meals and being ready to have something yummy to eat when you crave it. So yeah, rationing can absolutely help if you make it a meal prep and not forced.
Foxy nods in agreement, her tail wagging in approval. You're absolutely right. Voluntary food rationing shares some similarities with meal prepping. Both involve planning and preparing meals in advance to control what and how much you eat. Just like you said, meal prepping can be a valuable tool on your weight loss journey. She gives a sly grin. And let's be honest, having yummy, pre-planned meals on hand to satisfy cravings is genius and delectable.
Yes. So, as we said before, at the end of the day, it's just calories in versus calories out. And if you can, make sure it's nutritious calories that keep you healthy and happy. And on that bombshell, I think we shall wrap up our hopefully informative and very fun and enjoyable, at least to me, little podcast. I hope you enjoyed it as well. Any last words, Foxy?
Foxy smiles warmly, her tail softly wagging side to side. You've hit the nail on the head once again. At the end of the day, it's all about calorie intake versus calorie expenditure. It's like maintaining a caloric budget. She giggles at the mention of calories in, calories out. It's both a simple, yet not a simple concept. And we can't forget balance is key, but yes, we've covered a lot of ground in this podcast.
Yes. Conquer your lizard brain, make smart choices, and make it happen. You got this, I believe in you. I hope everyone enjoyed this little bit on the shorter side podcast. I hope you got some informative informations out of it that will help you on your journey and in your day-to-day life. Thanks everybody for joining and watching and listening and lurking. I really appreciate it. And as always, I will give Foxy the word to say goodbye while I find some amazing person to raid out to.
Foxy flashes a heartfelt smile, tail softly swaying. It's been an absolute pleasure talking with you, and I hope everyone out there has gained some knowledge and laughs from our conversation. As the stream comes to a close, she turns to the camera, her eyes full of enthusiasm. Before we sign off, let's spread some love and support to someone else. If you're up for it, let's raid another channel and show them some love. Who should we spread some floofy joy to?
I am just looking, and I would suggest everybody please copy yourself the raid message so we can properly share the fluff and the love and spread some joy. Can you believe it? My brain is failing me right at the end, but it's okay. Right, let's see. What lovely person shall we join? See, I think we shall join our gorgeous friend Lenzo. I don't know what that game is that she's playing, but yeah, we will join Lenzo. Please copy yourself the raid message to properly share the fluff and the love. Let me once again say thanks everybody for joining the stream and hanging out with us and joining the conversation. I really appreciate it. And to everybody on YouTube, if you enjoyed it, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more content. I see you on the other side.